Hey everybody, Konaja here. Welcome back to Formula One 2018, continuing our career with Haas as Kevin Magnussen checks out the texture of the ceiling, apparently. And now he's embarrassed about it. We are headed to the Circuit of the Americas this week for the American Grand Prix at COTA. Very good real race in the F1 2018 season. We'll see how it goes for us, as we have had quite a good streak here in our career. I would like to take a moment to kind of overview some things here. Mostly our R&D tree and performance and all of that good stuff. I have saved all but 2 of our existing upgrades for the next season. We have 4 weeks remaining to save those 2. Which means we should have the ability to actually get back to doing some development on the car for next season, which is exciting. There is the possibility that other teams could have been focusing on powertrain and aerodynamics for next season, since those were not affected by the regulation changes. Or it's also possible that teams completely ignored the regulation changes and just kept pushing forward with their car. I have really no idea how that's going to play out, but I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out as we head to the next season. Just a reminder, for the rest of this season, we're going to continue the format of a practice qualifying video and then a race per week. But as we head into the next season of our career, that is when we will begin doing 2 races per week, 2 videos that contain qualifying in the race, and we'll really get through those seasons pretty quickly then, I do believe. It's going to be a little bit more pressure on me, but I'm looking forward to getting into our next season. This powertrain upgrade has failed and has really been on the back burner for some time. Let me double check to make sure I don't actually have enough points to have been having that upgraded all along. Oh, that's right, my F7 button. That's under powertrain. The one with the exclamation point. 310. I do not have enough. You can see we're actually quite a bit behind in power versus Ferrari and Mercedes, but number 3 nonetheless. Curious where we are in aero. Aero, we're pretty far down, so once we get back to developing, we need to hop onto that aero quickly. We're number 3 in chassis, and I don't think there's actually a stats for the durability, but there you have it. We're number 3, and then way down the list. Well, not really way down the list, but number 5. So aero is the next big thing. So we need to get some resource points here in COTA, and I'm going to get to work doing that now.
A warm welcome from a wet and miserable Circuit of the Americas today as we await the green light to get today's practice session underway.
Well, that's just lovely. How is the weather looking then? Is it going to be rainy for the entire weekend, or is this a one-time deal? Rain in P1, but not P2. Rain again in P3. Rain in qualifying, looks like for all of qualifying. Takes forever for that to scroll through, but if it's light rain for 45 minutes, it's likely light rain for the whole day. And a cloudy start to the race as well. Okay.
When you get a chance, make sure to run some of our practice programs.
I'll consider it,
They
Jeff.
don't all need to be done in one session, but there's valuable data there to help race strategy and car development.
Alright, with that, I think our best bet then is to use this first practice session mainly to do a qualifying run to get an idea of what the place is like in the rain. Although this is heavy rain and they're calling for a lighter rain. That's a tough one to call. That is a tough one to call. I may actually skip this practice altogether and go ahead and move to practice 2 and use the rain at the end of practice 3 in order to get our qualifying run in the rain. Let's do that. Alright, here we are at a much drier looking Circuit of the Americas. Gonna get our track acclimatization done here. This is a place that needs some acclimatization. It's a big track with a lot of turns that I've obviously missed and forgotten. Takes a good bit of time to get used to it, to be honest. I've never had, really amazing things to say about the Circuit of the Americas. However, ooh, as I get a little brake lock up into turn 1 there, and actually I'm too slow through that gate. However, it is a track that I've tended to have pretty decent runs at, which is interesting. I think we had one of our best runs of the... Oh, missed that gate. Of the 2017 season, at least our last 2017 season here at COTA. But that being said, it's such an awkward track that it really does take a good bit of time to get used to. Very interesting it was that we had such an amazing US Grand Prix this year, and it goes to show that just because a track might not be known to be, you know, great for passing or great for racing, doesn't mean you can't have a great race there. The opportunity is always there. If the stars align correctly, you can have yourself a good race, and that was certainly one of those cases. Boy, I hate these gates. They're in pretty awkward places, to be honest. Unfortunately, it's not something that they really put into the game here, but I think there should be some emphasis on the fact that this would be Haas's home Grand Prix, and if we were to believe that I am
good. Now let's try for purple.
I am the driver
Consistency if you can chain good corners together.
of this here car on this here team, I at least got a green one on that one, then this would be my home Grand Prix as well. I think it would be cool if they did at least make some kind of, you know, nod to that and put in some effort to, oh man, that gate's real hard to hit. Because it's, oh, see that, trying to go for that gate screws up my whole line through here, so that's annoying that they put the gates there. As badly as I would like to have perfect on this track, it's not looking promising at the moment. Yeah, it would be cool to maybe get, I don't know, a little bit of motivation bonus for doing well at this particular race. Perhaps some extra resource points bonus, or just something. In a lot of ways, the career ends up being a little bit dry. It feels a little... What's that gate too? It feels a little too plasticky, you know what I mean? It just doesn't feel... It doesn't feel like there's a lot of emphasis on it being a career. Oh, buddy. Okay, so a note to myself, I am not using the line around this track that they would like me to be using. I'm not using the line that likely the AI are going to be using. Sometimes that's an advantage, though. Sometimes when I have the line that is comfortable to me, but different from what the computers are going to do.
This is the final lap of the program.
0 points over, I'll try. That ends up being an advantage, and it gives me opportunity to get around them. Give it another shot here, see what happens. Down a couple of gears. Got to cut it way to the right. Oh, it was only green. It's better than red. In case you didn't know how colors work. Nope, not gonna do it. Yeah, not gonna let that bother me, because I really just think that I'm gonna end up developing my own groove around here, and I'm not gonna worry about what their acclimatization says I should be doing. That was really improper grammar, and I'm gonna go smack myself now. Alright, hopefully I've timed this correctly, and I'm able to do a qualifying run here on intermediates, because I think that's going to be the qualifying tire if the weather forecast doesn't change, which it very well may. I can tell you I'm having some of the largest frame hangs that I've seen in a while. Now that was while the weather was changing, so hopefully it's not as bad now. It seems to be... Whoa, it's slippery. Whoa, it's slippery. It seems to be the case that the changing conditions are what causes the most frame hangs, so hopefully it's not as bad now that it's actually raining. But we'll see what kind of time we can do here in the drizzly rain on intermediates. I will say that I don't think my setup favors the rain here. I'm using a setup that favors... Oh, there's some hangups. Favors the dry conditions. It's got a lot of straightaway speed. It's very quick in Sector 2. So I have a feeling it's going to struggle, say, here, where we could really use a little bit more aerodynamic help to get the car pushed down into the track. And looking at the times, backing up that data, we are in the red. Oh, buddy. Let's see what it does on the back straightaway here. These hang-ups aren't going to help anybody. To see if we can actually perform a lap that is good enough. See how quickly the time is dropping as the car just slices through the air. Not going to be quite enough. Oh, well, I mean, if the game's going to be hanging up like that, I don't have a chance. I guess that's just never going to go away, huh? It's just something we're going to have to deal with forever, whenever it rains. It's questionable. I'm really slow in Sector 3. I'm actually just really slow in the last turn, for whatever reason. I don't fully know why, and I don't at all know how to improve on that. But that's not going to help anybody. Nope. We done here. I highly doubt this thing's got a second lap in it, but we'll see. I would like to at least get the resource points from this. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty lame duck.
We're down on our target times. Let's try to find a bit more.
Resource points kind of weekend. I guess I better just really hope the forecast was wrong and it doesn't rain in qualifying. Or that Codemasters, like, finds my missing frames between now and qualifying. I don't have high hopes for that. The good news is Coda's a pretty decent passing track for me, so I think we have chances there. I think the track's getting too wet or something, because these tires just don't feel like they're working. Something's not right. I'm not going to be able to complete this program. Well, messy practice. Really messy practice. Not feeling too good about that. We'll see how that affects us into qualifying.
We're expecting qualifying to start any minute here in Austin, Texas, where drivers will be hoping to top the timesheets today and be ready for tomorrow's US Grand Prix.
Unfortunately, it's raining, so here we go. Let's see what we can do with this. Light rain for 10 minutes. I really want to look at this and see if there's any anticipated changes, because if it's not going to change, we're going to be in trouble. Looks like a light rain, light rain, light rain. I don't know. I feel like this has happened to us multiple times here at Coda, which is interesting. Texas. The land of the rain? I'm not sure. Okay, we'll dry out if we can make it to Q3, though. Okay, interesting. So, at least I have a goal in mind. At least I have a goal in mind. There's a possibility by the end of this, we could potentially make it. So, I'm kind of hemming and hawing now. Do I try and throw a little bit more downforce on the thing? Currently I'm running 7 and 7, which is not really low downforce by any means. In fact, that's pretty high downforce, but for Coda,
It's pretty quiet out on
you
track.
could
We
use
should
more.
consider getting out there.
But I think I'm going to stick with 7. I don't want to slow the car down too much for the race. We'll just see how we can do, and if we can manage to get ourselves out of Q1 here. Hopefully we can. Hopefully the game behaves too. This is actually light rain. Oh, snap son, we're not on intermediates. I was incorrect there, huh? They sent us out on softs. I should have been on track immediately then. That will go down in history as a mistake. Yeah, the track has not actually gotten wet yet. Well, hopefully we didn't burn too much time. I see we're behind somebody, and I see people on pit road yet. So maybe that will save us. Alright, I'm going to have to really focus through this. Because damp track on slicks is scary. Very scary. But it should still be faster than a wet track on intermediates. So all I have to do is get a decent lap in here, and we should be able to skate through this session, I believe. I can get a lap in without spinning. Won't be easy. There's the hang-ups. Holy! Fix your game, Codemasters. For real. Getting my arm stretches in here. See, that's the big thing, is we get DRS still, because they haven't switched the track over to wet. Will it switch over to wet? I'm not sure. I'm thinking that it will, but that's not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. See, is it getting any worse throughout the lap? I don't think that it is. These sprinkles are pretty light at the moment. But it is not a good track. It is not a dry track. Curious how far off of that 38 that I am. Pretty far. The answer is pretty far. I think the track's good laps are gone. 47 is 10th for us. We may just have to see. Although now it's dry in turn 1. There was no sprinkles there for a second. Does Gasly get out of the way here? He should, if he's a professional Formula 1 driver. He didn't. He just parked it in front of me. All right. Let's see if that time was good enough. That time was not good enough. We're last.
Our best lap so far is a 1 minute 47.
And the track has not really changed, so I've got to try again on these slicks to do a better lap. I'm not feeling too good. I'm actually feeling really, really bad. I kind of hate this. What am I gonna do? My fear is that the superhumanness of the AI on a damp track is going to just completely screw me here. I gotta find like 3 or 4 seconds out here on a track that's not as good as it once was. And the hang-ups as well. Don't forget the hang-ups. Alright, this is for all the marbles. It really doesn't feel like it's any better now than it was before. I guess it's just up to me to decide if it's worse now than it was before. That wasn't much improvement there. The hang-ups are worse.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
There was a tiny improvement right there. Just the tiniest little bit of improvement. I need a lot more than a tiny improvement. I need a lot more than a tiny improvement. Jeez. No brakes down here. It did feel like Sector 3 is where we lost the biggest chunk of our time, so see what I can do down here. That drift didn't help anybody, especially me. I'll warn you about exceeding track limits. Gee, oh, this fucking game. I swear.
Are you alright? Let me know you're alright.
That was one of the worst qualifying performances I've ever seen. The only way is up from here, hopefully.
You're fired, Emma.